And Ms. Chenwaller, I'm just sending an update on where all those cases are. And Your Honor, this is Miss Goya Cook Marshburn.
Hello.
And I'm ready to proceed whenever we're on the record and ready to go.
And we're on the record. Thank you.
And Your Honor, this is Jasmine Agoya Cook Marshburn, case Y22007-133, set for pretrial here today. We have been able to reach an agreed disposition in this case by which Ms. Agoya Cook Marshburn would be pleading guilty to 1 count of malicious mischief in the 3rd degree and 1 count of false statements to a public servant with a dismissal of criminal trespass in the 1st degree upon acceptance. I'm ready to begin the colloquy whenever the court is ready.
I'll do the colloquy. Thank you.
Sounds great.
Ms. Agoya Cook Marshburn, I have a document here entitled Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty. Towards the bottom of it, on the line that says defendant's signature, please don't make the X's.
I apologize, Your Honor.
And Madam Prosecutor, you have not signed it, and do you have a motion?
Good morning, Cynthia Chenwaller for the city of SeaTac. Pursuant to parties' negotiations, city is moving to dismiss with prejudice the charge of criminal trespass 1st degree.
Any objection?
No objection.
And that motion is granted. So on the line that says defendant's signature, you have not signed this document. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you didn't sign it yourself because you have no way to sign it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
If you had had a way to sign this document, would you have signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
SCORE will give you a chance to sign it after this hearing. Do you promise to sign it at that time?
I do promise to sign.
When you reviewed this form with your attorney, did he read it to you? Did you read it by yourself or did you read it together?
No, we read it together.
And was he able to answer any questions that you had?
Yes, Your Honor.
As I review this document with you, please stop me at any time if you'd like to ask him another question, okay?
Okay.
Is your true and correct name Jasmine Agoya Cook Marshburn?
Yes.
And you're 27 years old and have a GED?
Yes.
You're pleading guilty to 2 crimes today, malicious mischief in the 3rd degree and false statement to a public servant. Do you understand the elements of those crimes?
Yeah, I do, Your Honor.
Okay. By entering into these pleas, you're giving up a number of very important constitutional rights. Among these are the right to a speedy and public trial, to remain silent during that trial, or to choose to testify, to see, hear, and question witnesses who would testify against you, to have witnesses testify at no expense to you, and to the presumption of innocence unless and until a jury were to find you guilty, and to appeal a finding of guilt. Do you understand you're giving up on all those rights?
Yes, I do.
Both of these crimes are gross misdemeanors, punishable by up to 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
I know your attorney and the city attorney have an agreed recommendation, but the court doesn't have to follow that and can sentence you anywhere up to the maximum, including running them consecutive to each other for almost 2 years in custody. Is that your understanding?
I do understand, Your Honor.
Do you understand in the event you're not a citizen, a guilty finding on either of these charges may be grounds for deportation, denial of naturalization, or exclusion from the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did anyone make any promises to you to get you to enter into these pleas?
No.
Did anyone make any threats to get you to enter into these pleas?
No.
Are you doing this of your own free will?
Yes.
In paragraph 11, there's a statement that reads, on March 2nd, 2022 in SeaTac, Washington, I did knowingly and maliciously damage the property of another valued at less than $750, and also did knowingly make a false and misleading material statement to a public servant. I know your attorney wrote that statement, but do you adopt it as your own?
I do.
Is it a true statement?
Yes.
As to the crime of malicious mischief in the 3rd degree, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to the crime of making a false statement to a public servant, how do you plead?
Guilty, I guess.
Are you not sure whether you want to plead guilty?
I'm gonna take it by the gut and just do an Alfred plea, but yes, I do plead guilty.
So this is not an Alfred plea, this is a straight plea, the way it's written up.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to talk to Mr. Boltinghouse about that?
No, Your Honor.
So,
Connor, can I, given yesterday's record and one of the cases we have, can I take one moment just to make sure that I'm covering my base to make sure we understand it? I don't think there is confusion, but I think we just
okay,
could take
I would feel more comfortable as well.
Thank you. Ms. Agoya Cook Marshburn, there should be, with the mouse, there should be a button to join the breakout room on the bottom tray. If you can go ahead and click the breakout room button and click join. Perfect. All right.
Okay, so when we left off, did you have enough time to talk about that with Mr. Boltinghouse?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you, so with regard to the making, knowingly making a false or misleading statement to a public servant, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I will accept the plea. I do believe it's knowingly, voluntarily, intelligently made, and there's a factual basis to support it. Ms. Chenweller, anything to add to the sentencing recommendation?
There's an agreed recommendation. Defendant has 8 days credit for time served. He's requesting that the conditions include no contact with the individual and address listed, and that restitution be reserved to be determined within 180 days, and the defendant be ordered to clear the 2 warrants out of Grace Harbor District Court by August 28, 2023.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor. And we join in that recommendation. I would just note that Ms. Agoya Cook Marshburn is not currently working. We would be asserting Blazina, as I do believe any imposition of non-contemplated fines or costs would present a hardship. She is finishing out a federal way commitment as well, too, at this point in time. So she is resolving up her other matters. And we did talk about clearing Grace Harbor, and she does know how to proceed on that front.
Thank you. Ms. Agoya Cook Marshburn, do you have anything that you would like to say?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to follow the agreed recommendation. I do think it's appropriate given the nature of the charges. With regard to the malicious mischief charge, 364 days in jail with, well, I guess sentence is the same on each count. Not the way it's written up, I'm doing it. 356 suspended. with 8 days credit for time served, $5,000 fine, all 5,000 suspended. I'm making the finding that you're indigent by virtue of the fact you have no income, and I'm not imposing any fines, fees, costs, or assessments. And there's nothing mandatory for this charge. The only legal financial obligation will be restitution. I'll leave that open for 180 days if the city does receive information. For the next, the court is taking 24 months of jurisdiction on each count, and the jail time will be concurrent. So you'll be released on this case today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
For the next 24 months, you need to attend any future court appearances, have no new criminal law violations, no contact with Abdusalam Osman Yusuf, or the address at 14611 Military Road South in SeaTac. By August 28th, you'll need to clear the warrant in Grays Harbor District Court. I'm going to add a condition of use only your true legal name and date of birth. And update your address with the court and DOL immediately if there are any changes. And the address we have on file is on South 146th Street in SeaTac. Can you still receive mail there?
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
Perfect. If that changes, please update it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I apologize about the X, Your Honor. I forgot over here.
Yeah. My fear is that then SCORE won't have them signed.
I think that's a very safe fear. I will say one of the struggles about the multiple courts is that the procedure varies from each one to each one.
I know, I think
And
you
you're-
guys need like a cheat sheet of
Oh,
Judge
it'd be
Gavillos.
Laminated and flip it over.
Yeah, there you go.
And Your Honor, this is Mr. Lilo. This is case 2A0059437. After further conversation with Mr. Lilo here today, defense is raising competency in this matter. I have a good faith basis to believe that Mr. Lilo either cannot meaningfully assist in his own defense or assist in his counsel in his defense, or potentially does not understand the nature of the proceedings. My basis for this being, when attempting to probe into it, I did have was not able to suss on a clear or concise path on which way to proceed. As a result of that, Your Honor, I am raising competency and asking that the court consider entering the evaluation order here today.
Do you think this is a situation where Mr. Lilo may just need more time to talk to an attorney?
Your Honor, I am unclear. I can represent to the court. I have significant experience dealing with individuals in this scenario. I am unsure of whether or not this is I don't know if it is a time issue, Your Honor. I guess that's my way of saying it. I am unsure, and out of an abundance of caution to ensure that Mr. Lilo's right to preserve with regard to proceedings, I believe I have an obligation to at least raise here today. I would defer to the court if the court would like to perform their own colloquy on it. I will say I'm generally at a bit of a loss on this one.
Okay. And I think I would perform my own colloquy at this point. Mr. Lilo, do you understand what Mr. Boltinghouse's, that's the attorney you've been talking to, do you understand what his role is?
No,
What do you think he's here to do?
you couldn't say, oh, he was here like, trying to represent me in front of the court.
Well, what does that mean to represent you?
Hmm?
What does that mean to represent you?
Like, I just want to talk about it, you know, like, take it and go home.
What is that? Mr. Lilo, I'm sorry, you trailed off at the end, so I didn't hear you.
He said, he got some, you know, like, for me to take it and go home today, so I'm trying to see what kind of deal you're talking about.
Well, what does it mean to have a deal?
No deal.
Right, what is a deal?
Like, that's why I'm waiting for him to see what he's gonna tell you about.
So what Ms. Chen Weller is the prosecutor? Do you know what the prosecutor does?
Yeah,
What does the prosecutor do? There's no right or wrong answer, sir. I just want to know what you know.
So I think, it should fight for the state, I think,
She fights for the state.
yeah,
I think that's a pretty good definition of her. What about me? What do I do?
the same thing,
You think I fight for the state?
yeah.
Well, I hope I haven't done anything to give you that impression, because I'm not on either side. I'm in the middle. I'm like a referee. So you're currently charged with assault in the 4th degree domestic violence. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not asking you about what you did or didn't do.
yeah,
Not what actually happened, but do you know what the charge is? What it means to be accused of assault in the 4th degree?
okay,
But do you know?
yes.
What does it mean?
Okay. First thing I beat up for you.
You okay, Mr. Lelo?
No, I was thinking about like, I was fighting.
No, you don't have to tell me what you did. I'm just saying, like, any person who is accused of assault, do you know so that is what the city is saying, that someone intentionally hurt someone. Is that what you think assault? Do you agree with that? That means what assault means?
Yeah,
So if you were to plead guilty,
yeah,
do you know what that means?
yeah,
And yesterday we tried to go through that, and then at the end you said you didn't want to plead guilty, which you have every right to do, and no one is going to make you plead guilty. So do you understand what it means to plead guilty?
yeah.
What does it mean to plead guilty?
Like you're doing misdemeanor.
Right, it's a gross misdemeanor, but what is it? If you plead guilty, what are you doing?
Like, don't do it again, I think.
Right, but if I say I'm pleading guilty, I'm saying I did something. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Your Honor, I still have concerns, given that the only way that he, I think, was able to answer the court's questions when they were done in a leading format.
I completely agree with you, and I'm going to sign the order, and I'm wondering if it's appropriate to have him assessed for a developmental.
I would join the court's request on that. The colloquy here did highlight concerns that I have on that front. I will say, however, Your Honor, though, that is likely going to result in no evaluation probably occurring during the timeline. As my understanding is that there may not be a DDP evaluator in the state right now. That was the case, I believe it was in May when I was last in person working with Ms. Stahl. That could have changed. I just would highlight concerns that if we do order a DDP eval, it may result in no evaluation being done timely, at least.
If I don't put one in there specifically, they usually highlight that if they believe that that's the case, right? I mean, I'm thinking about prior evaluations that I've read.
Yeah, we may get that option, Your Honor. As we were talking about it out loud, the red flag on, I know that we did have a significant delay on DDP evals in about March or in about May before I went full remote. I do not know if that has changed, obviously, because I've not been boots on the ground. But I did just want to at least put that out there so it may not come as a surprise because I do believe one may be warranted in this case.
Okay.
And the city is just requesting that they'll remain the amount of 2,500 cash or bond.
We have no objection to that, Your Honor.
Okay. I've sort of hinted at it and I added a court's concern. About the defendant's ability to intellectually understand the proceedings, and I'm hoping that that sort of tips off.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, we'll set a return date of August 10th. Probable cause was previously found on November 30th. And bail remains $2,500. All right, thank you, Mr. Lilo. Someone's going to come talk to you before your next hearing.
Okay.
Thank you. The jury has a question. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Mr. Lilo, can you let the officer know we're ready for the next one? Hi, Miss Lockridge. We're waiting on the judge to handle another matter real quick, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. If you can just wait patiently, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk, just so you're aware, Sabaton and Prince were refusals.
Thank you.
No problem. I did not get a chance to talk with Mr. Marble yet because he needed an iPad, and score has been a bit chaotic today.
Okay, as soon as Nelda hands the reins back over to Ruth, we can get started.
And we're back on the record, Your Honor.
Fabulous.
And Your Honor, this is Miss Lockridge here. This is case Y180522139, set for a review here today following a booking on a warrant.
And what are the allegations?
Defendant failed to serve 30 days of jail as previously imposed by this court. There are subsequent potential law-abiding behavior issues.
Are we dealing with those today or setting another hearing to deal with that?
Well, I'm sorry, if the city's request, given the age of the case and lack of other affirmative conditions, so we don't necessarily need to address the new law-abiding behavior issues. City's just asking that the court reimpose a 30 days as jail time, defendant's 8 days credit for time served, and no objection of file closing upon defendant's completion of that jail time.
Mr. Boltinghouse?
Your Honor, I believe the court issued its former commitment. I don't believe that there's a basis for reconsideration. I would be asking the court to consider, however, that Ms. Lockridge be allowed to attempt to set that commitment up. I understand, given her failure to appear, that is a lot to ask. However, Ms. Lockridge did want me to indicate to the court at the time of her former commitment, her mother did unfortunately die. And she did ultimately go through a relapse event, causing her to basically lose track of where everything was. She went through a very tumultuous period of her life, and her dad is presently in the ICU, having lost his sight. She is a caregiver for an animal at which and does have housing with wraparound services. She asked me to bring this information to the court's attention in an attempt to give her another opportunity to be able to set that commitment up so that way she does not lose that she presently has. She acknowledges, certainly given her failure to appear at the last date, that is a law task of this court, but nonetheless wanted to ask regardless, knowing where the posture was. We thank the court for its consideration. Thank you.
How much credit for time served, Ms. Chenweller?
8 days.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard, but then I couldn't remember, because the last one was also 8, and then I think I was conflating. Ms. Lockridge, will you lose your housing if you serve an addition? At this point, it would be 12 days.
I think so. Like through Plymouth Housing, they have a long waiting list, and a lot of people are waiting to get on it. So we have obligations that we have to, fulfill. And I think I might, it'll set me backwards. I want to. I've accomplished a lot,
Right, but you also are you were ordered to serve this time a while ago, and you didn't do it.
Yeah, my mother died, and I didn't even, the covert happened, and I had so much going on. I didn't think about it. I also have 3 children, and when my mom died, my 10-year-old is like with my cousin who is missing, and I don't even know how to get in touch with my daughter, and I just got a lot going on. I just lost track. I apologize for that. I just lost track of everything that was going on. So much was going on. I had a lot of trauma issues, and I had lost a brother also. My mother died, my brother died, my dad's in ICU, and I got a daughter in limbo, and I got 2 kids in Atlanta. I just lost track. I just got a lot going on. But I got help. I got wraparound services. My counselors will bring me. I got a sponsor that I hold on tight to. I go to Cherry Hall, go to DOA and University Place. I went to Clean and Free, and so I've been trying to get, clean and get my sobriety back, and so I can take care of my family.
How long have you been sober now?
Not long. I'm not gonna say it's been long, but it's been almost 2 weeks, and it took me a long time to get that 2 weeks, because when my mom died, I just wanted to take her place, because when she died, I wasn't clean. So she wanted to see me clean, so we got clean. I don't know. I just, and I just stopped loving myself for a minute, and I'm starting to get that back again, to where my life matters, and like things are important, and You know, I got a schedule board that I put my schedule on, and I put affirmations up, and, you know, wake up and say positive affirmations. And I'm getting myself back together, and I just feel like I can just take care of things better. And
Ms. Lockridge, I'm really proud of the steps that you've taken. It sounds like you're really, really trying to turn things around, and I applaud you for that. I'm wrestling with the fact that I think it may be better to get this behind you rather than having it be one more thing that's hanging over your head. That it's
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, just for the record, the city does have to object. I understand if it has best intentions, but given all these factors, the high risk, he's not going to be able to comply with another commitment. She does have pending charges out of Renton, Seattle, Tukwila.
we got those squashed today. We already got those squashed today.
Recently of July
those squashed
18,
today.
2003. So she's picking up new charges.
No, we got those
Ms.
squashed
Timmer,
today.
I don't think you knew where I was going. Or at least not yet. I think it's best that you serve this commitment now and get it over with, because then you
But
can.
I don't want to lose my housing.
I wish if everybody would please let me finish
Okay.
talking.
I'm sorry.
What I want to do is set this over till tomorrow. I want information from Pioneer on whether you will lose that housing or not. Plymouth, sorry.
I don't want to set this over till tomorrow. I want this to be done now.
Then I'm gonna.
So do you want me to do my commitment? I just want it over with. I'm tired of coming. I'm just tired. It's just, I'm dealing with my mom in my mind, and it's too much for me. Just finish it.
Okay.
Can you?
Then I'm
So 30 days is 14 days on 30?
on 30 days, you'll serve 20, but you have 8 days credit for time served, so you'll only serve 12. There are 12 more days.
No, I can't do that.
So ma'am, I'm trying to give you a way around this, but you don't want to take it. I said we can set this over till tomorrow. I would like information on whether you will lose your housing or not. That would be very meaningful to me.
I'm telling you, I will. I'm telling you, it's Plymouth housing. You should know
And
that
I
all those
don't
people
know
on the
that.
streets.
Okay, I'm imposing the jail time. You're not giving me an option.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to tell you, all those people that are waiting on the streets, that's what they're waiting for, that housing. Through Reach in the LEAD program, they're waiting for that particular housing. All those homeless people out there that are they're waiting for those people to put them in housing. Can we drop it down to 20 or something? I've got a lot of obligations.
You've had this, this was imposed 3 years ago.
Do you know that we have COVID?
My predecessor who imposed it.
But you know, we have COVID. We weren't even going to court with COVID was.
We did have court during COVID.
Yeah, that had a lot to do with it though.
Okay, I'm imposing the jail time. And the case will close upon completion.
Can we drop down the jail time just a couple of days or something? I just don't want to risk losing my housing. I don't want to be set back. I want to get my kids back. I want to get my life back, please.
If you receive information that you will lose your housing, if I have some documentation to that effect, I would reconsider.
I don't know. I don't know who to call. Like I haven't called anybody.
Okay. This hearing's over, ma'am.
Do you have a counselor I can talk to that can help me call my housing?
Ma'am, as I indicated, Pierre Kent is in the jail. If you talk to programs, they have the card. They are free to call from SCORE. So if you
can I
ask the
say one
office,
thing, please? Can I please just say one thing? I know, I'm telling you, I will. I'm telling you, 12 more days in here, I will. And I have another obligation. Seattle Muni is holding me. And I have the third, I have another court date through Auburn. I have a court date on Auburn on the 3rd in here. And after that, I have an obligation to Seattle Muni. So I'm asking you, please.
And I've made my decision. If there's more information available, I will reconsider.
But I'm telling you.
I need.
Why can't you reconsider? It's been 4 years.
I need no, that works against you and would make me, if your situation were different, I would likely impose more jail.
Like what? What do you mean?
Ms. Lockridge, we're done. Can you please let the guard know you're done?
So what does that mean?
Ms. Lockridge, this hearing is over.
No, I just want to know how long do I have to do in here?
12 days.
12 days on 30, you do 12?
No, on 30, you do 20, but you have 8 days credit for time served. So 8 of it has already been served. That leaves 12 days.
Can you drop it down to 8
Oh.
more?
No, thank you.
What, can you speak for me, attorney? Like
I
I've done a
did-
lot more than a lot of these people in here joking around, playing around, acting like it's a joke with their life. I don't understand that.
Madam Clerk, can you please
understand
call
that.
score and let the guards know this hearing's over? Thank you.
Anyway, thank you. So what date am I out on here?
12 days
12
from
days.
now.
So that's what day?
I don't know.
Can you guys please tell me?
Yeah, 1 second.
Just so I could call my housing and let them know? Or does anybody have any?
Thursday. Tuesday, August 8th, and as I indicated, Ms. Lockridge, you can speak with Pierre Kent. They will assist you. They are free to call from the jail.
Oh, I think he's coming to visit me tomorrow, Friday.
Perfect. Then
Okay.
talk with them there. They can assist you with that.
Okay, so on the 8th.
Okay,
Yep,
thank
on
you.
the 8th.
I can do that.
Thank
I
you,
can
Ms.
do that.
Lockridge.
Yeah, thank you. But you know what? You guys need to give people a chance sometime for
Ms.
real.
Lockridge,
Like
this
for their
hearing's
life, for
over.
real. It's not cool. People got kids, obligations.
Can we call score? If she's not, there she goes.
And Mr. Sabotin was a refusal, but we have the proposed.
Are we able to go forward without him, Mr. Boltinghouse?
Your Honor, I saw the order was filed. I could not find a copy in our records. If the court wouldn't mind forwarding it to me pretty quickly, I expect we can go through that.
I'll send that over.
Thank you.
Thank
Madam
you.
Clerk.
You're
Do we
welcome.
have any other refusals?
Prince.
Again?
Yes.
All right. I think this is the third refusal. Is that right?
Believe so. We can check. Yeah.
All right. We'll set this over till tomorrow. If the city is interested and in order to compel, I would entertain that. Bail remains $1,000. Probable cause was previously found on the 24th. Thank you very much. Whoever filled it out. That made it easy.
And Mr. Tice, can you go ahead and click unmute on the screen on the computer for us?
Good morning or good afternoon, Mr. Tice.
If you can't get it done, you can go ahead and ask jail staff too.
Mr. Tice, you there?
Go.
I'm sorry, you guys, we have a verdict.
Alrighty, no problem, Your Honor.
Right back.
Probably 15 minutes, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Okay.
If, I'll set over sentencing. Well, if, should it be, well, we'll see. Okay,
Okay.
we'll let you know what's happening.
And Mr. Tice, I appreciate your patience. We're gonna have you hang out for just a second. The court is multitasking, doing a jury trial at the same time. So we'll be back as soon as the court gets back, okay? Thanks for your patience, buddy. No, don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Just sit there. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for your patience. I'm getting my
No
steps
problem.
and going back and forth.
And Your Honor, as indicated before, this is Mr. Tice.
Great. Hi, Mr. Tice. How are you doing today? So I have a document here entitled Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty. Towards the bottom of it, on the line that says defendant's signature, you have not signed this. Is that right?
Yes,
If you, and you haven't signed it because you had no way to sign it. Is that right?
yes,
If you had had a way to sign it, would you have signed it?
yes,
SCORE will give you a chance to sign it after this hearing. Do you promise to sign it at that time?
yes.
When you reviewed this form with your attorney, did he read it to you? Did you read it by yourself or did you read it together?
I read it by myself.
You know, I can barely hear you for some reason, Mr. Tice. And was Mr. Boltinghouse able to answer any questions that you had?
Yes,
As I review this form with you, please stop me at any time if you'd like to ask him another question. Is your true and correct name Jason Tyler Tice?
yes,
And you're 41 years old and have completed the 11th grade?
yes,
You're pleading guilty to the crime of criminal trespass in the first degree. Do you understand the elements of that crime? In other words, what the city would have to prove if you were to take this to trial?
yes,
By entering into this plea, you're giving up a number of very important constitutional rights. Among these are the right to a speedy and public trial, to remain silent during that trial, or to choose to testify, to see, hear, and question witnesses who would testify against you, to have witnesses testify on your behalf at no expense to you, to the presumption of innocence unless and until a jury were to find you guilty, and to appeal a finding of guilt. Do you understand you're giving up all those rights?
yes,
The crime of criminal trespass in the first degree is a gross misdemeanor punishable by up to 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Is that your understanding?
yes,
I know your attorney and the city attorney have an agreed recommendation, but the court has does not have to follow that and can sentence you anywhere up to the maximum. Is that your understanding?
yes,
Do you understand in the event you're not a citizen, a guilty finding on this charge may be grounds for deportation, denial of naturalization, or exclusion from the United States?
yes,
Did anyone make any promises to you to get you to enter into this plea?
no,
Did anyone make any threats to get you to enter into this plea?
no,
Are you doing this of your own free will?
yes,
In paragraph 11, there's a statement that reads, on July 17th, 2023 in SeaTac, Washington, I did go on the property of SeaTac International Airport without permission or authority and did go into a building.
yes,
I know your attorney wrote that statement, but do you adopt it as your own statement?
yes,
Is it a true statement?
yes.
As to the crime of criminal trespass in the first degree, how do you plead?
Guilty?
I will accept the plea. I do believe it's knowingly, voluntarily, intelligently made, and there's a factual basis to support it. Can you please sit up, Mr. Tice? Thank you. Okay, Ms. Chenweller, anything to add?
It is an agreed recommendation. Defendant has 12 days credit for time served. Recommendation on the reviews is 12 days in custody, concurrent credit for time served.
Mr. Boltinghouse?
Your Honor, we're asking the court follow the agreed recommendation here today. I did discuss this with Mr. Tice. Mr. Tice had no hesitancy taking accountability for what brought him before the court. I did speak with him about the sort of rapid recidivism with regard to going back to SeaTac International Airport, and he has assured me that is not going to be something that's a problem in the future. We are asking that he be given the credit since he's been in. He is not presently working as transient, so we are asking that the court waive all non-mandatory fines and costs pursuant to Blazina. Beyond that, Your Honor, nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Tice, is there anything you'd like to say?
No.
Mr. Tice, why do you keep going back to the airport?
I'm just, kind of, always, get real, uh, tired. And, I always want to, lay down.
Yeah, I think everybody does. I mean, humans need to sleep. So I can totally understand that. But the airport is not a place to do that. You simply cannot go back to the airport. So knowing that you can't go back to the airport, what can we do to get you somewhere that's appropriate to sleep?
I'm just gonna go to the Compass Center.
Okay, so I think last time I wanted you to, I'm just trying to figure out when the last, what was the most recent case that he pled guilty on? Anybody know?
Um. 1 second, Your Honor. Looks like the plea in the case ending in 3-1 was
6444 is the most recent review.
6444 was the most recent?
Yeah.
That was from May.
Yep.
He pled guilty on May 31st. So on the last one, I ordered you to contact the community resource coordinator within 2 weeks of your release, Kim Kawasaki. And she's here at the courthouse. And you didn't follow through with that either. And her whole job is to help people connect with resources. So things like housing. I'm going to order you to do that again. And that's an order. It's not a suggestion. It's a, you must do this. And change it to within 1 week of release. So as soon as you get out of custody, you have to contact her, okay?
All right.
And it's just a phone call. You can even call from jail. You can call while you're still in, if you want. But her whole job is, you know, she really, really would love to help you find somewhere to live. Okay? Somewhere that won't land you in jail. So I'm going to follow the agreed recommendation, starting with the sentencing case, 364 days in jail with 274 suspended, 12 days credit for time served, $5,000 fine, all 5,000 suspended, as I am making the finding that you're indigent by virtue of the fact you have no income, and I'm not imposing any fines, fees, costs, or assessments. There's nothing mandatory for this charge. Jail time will be concurrent with any other holds, and the court is taking 24 months of jurisdiction. For the next 24 months, you need to attend any future court appearances, have no new criminal law violations, no contact with SeaTac International Airport or the rental car facility. Sir, if you go back there, you will be arrested again. And I feel pretty sure when I'm saying that Ms. Chenweller is likely to ask for more time. And update your address with the court and DOL immediately if there are any changes. And can you still receive mail at the Compass Center?
Yes.
I'm going to change that. And within 1 week of release, you can do this even before you get out. Contact Kim Kawasaki, the court resource, our community court coordinator. Come on, let me sign. Then turning to the reviews. Finding the violation, I'm assuming that the new criminal law violation is admitted. Is that correct, Mr. Boltinghouse?
That's correct, Your Honor.
How about an allegation of return to the airport?
I admitted here today.
I'm finding both of those violations. And do you join in the city's recommendation to revoke 12 days with 12 days credit for time served? And
I do, Your Honor.
I'm going to follow that recommendation. So you'll be released on all of the reviews today. Okay, thank you, sir. We'll see you back here, or, you know, hopefully we won't see you back here, that you won't go back to the airport.
And Your Honor, we can take spot now. I have had a chance to review that evaluation.
Oh, excellent. I'm glad that at least the time was a little bit useful.
I'm good at multitasking.
Okay, Dennis Sabatin, 3805222273801320001. Have the parties had a chance to read the evaluation?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Does either party take
Yes.
exception?
No,
No, Your Honor.
I don't either. I'm making the finding that Mr. Sabatin is unable to proceed under both prongs. I'm finding out further that neither charge is a serious offense. The evaluator did opine that he should be evaluated by DCR prior to a change in custodial status. I'm going to follow that recommendation. In order that he be held until no later than August 4th at 1:45.
And thank you, Your Honor. And that's Mr. Kessie when we are ready.
Perfect. Good afternoon, Mr. Kessie.
Good afternoon.
And we're here on review on CPS 028883. What is this? What are the allegations?
Your Honor, my
this
understanding
is
is
a law-abiding behavior. There's an assault pending the Sound Municipal Court. Data violation, March 6, 2023. It's currently in warrant status.
For purposes of today's hearings, that admitted or denied?
that's admitted, Your Honor, and I do have a recommendation as to sanction when the court is ready.
I'll hear from the city first. What is the
As
city's
the-
recommendation?
Thank you. As the defendant will obviously have to deal with that in charge in Seattle Municipal Court, any sanctions there. City's recommendation at this point is just the 2 days in custody with 2 days credit for time served.
What is the defense recommendation?
That was defense's recommendation as well, too, Your Honor. So,
Well, she stole it from you, so you got to come up with something else. No, I'm just-
I'd request that he be released afterwards.
Okay. I'm going to follow that recommendation, revoke 2 days with 2 days credit for time served. And you'll be released on this today, and that's concurrent with any other holds. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Do you still receive mail at the address on East Olive Street in Seattle?
No, that's changed. I have a new address at the Commons on Aurora. And I don't have I don't have that just written down. I'm getting a cell phone this week. delivered to that address and they can use that address now. And I'm receiving some advocacy there. A wee bit.
Do you think that it's at 8914 Aurora Avenue North? Does that sound right?
Kind of, yeah, the commons, yeah, I think so.
It sounds like it's an agency near the Commons, Your Honor.
Well, this is a place, I mean, one comment,
I'll get my cell phone there and I'll be able to receive my mail and get change of address. And such.
they say the workers have the biggest hearts in the world and all donations should, so it sounds like a social. The Aurora Commons,
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, tell you what, when you get your phone, sir, can you please call the court to just make sure we have the right address for you?
Absolutely.
All right, that sounds like a plan then.
And thank you, Attorney.
Thank you, sir. All right, you're all set. You'll be released today on this.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you as well. Shanice Spencer Thomas is on, just to correct an order for an out of custody 1077 evaluation. I think the order was drafted for an in custody, but then I released her and it was checked for both in custody and out of custody, and Western State couldn't, they needed one or the other. So this is just correcting it to being only out of custody. Does either party have a comment on that or anything? Otherwise, I'm just going to sign it. I redrafted it to mirror the other one.
No objection.
No objection.
All right, is that it?
We had, Your Honor, I was not able to get Mr. Marble out earlier enough. They needed to send an iPad to him. SCORE, my understanding, their system was down again this morning, so I have not had a chance to speak with Mr. Marble yet.
Okay, so they're going to take an iPad to him right now?
I think SCORE is probably waiting for us to indicate one way or another. It has been, I was dealing with, there we are. Mr.
Hey.
Marble?
Mr. Marble, we'll get an iPad ready and I'll get my partner to take that down to Mr. Marble.
Perfect, thank you.
You-
Okay, I'm here-ish. I'm gonna just grab some, go to the salad bar real quick.
And Mr. Rima posted bail or
Great.
bonds, he'll be re-summons for an out of custody date, correct?
Correct.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, and I appreciate your patience. I apologize about the delay today.
No worries.
And Your Honor, I am ready to address the Marble matter. I'm going to be waiving his appearance and raising competency pursuant to 1077.
The theme of the day. Okay,
It's a rough day today.
sorry, just popping in a commitment order. Okay. Does the city have any objection?
No, just requesting bail remain 500 cash or bond.
No objection.
Okay, we'll set a return date of August 10th. 2 weeks from today. Does he have a history of being able to found not able to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. His last case was out of SeaTac where he was found incompetent. I believe that that was last year in sometime around April, it looks like. And then a prior finding in Renton, prior finding in Kent. Or no, sorry, prior finding in Renton, several findings in Renton.
Is the most recent one April?
The most recent one would have been our court in the case ending in 855. Original charge was March of 2022, and it looks like he was released then on 4/6 with a finding of incompetency.
Speedy trials told pending the results of that evaluation. When was probable cause found? I'm sorry, I'm trying to do other work here.
Probable cause in this case was found, Your Honor, on 5/8.
Thank you.
Or no, 5/5, sorry, it found it prior to his first appearance.
Okay. Maintaining that finding, maintaining bail in the amount of $500 and speedy trials told pending the results, and we'll see him back here on August 10th at 11.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Boltinghouse. Thank you, Ms. Chenweller.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.